In this episode, I will explain everything you must know regarding issuing and receiving 1099s. There are a couple of new things, there are a couple of different caveats that you must be aware of so that you do the right thing. So make sure that you watch the entire episode. Stay tuned. Welcome to Say Yes to Profits, a virtual CFO firm that helps consultants gain clarity, control, and confidence in their numbers so that they reduce business taxes and build profitable million-dollar businesses. We exist to eradicate small business failure, so subscribe today, and as a result, we will make it rain money in your business. It is time for you to say yes to profits. Hi everyone, I am Octavia, CEO of Say Yes to Profits and the virtual CFO for consultants who desire to gain clarity, control, and confidence in their finances so that they become fiscally responsible, reduce business taxes, and say yes to profits. Now, I want to talk about 1099s in this episode because in 2020, the IRS introduced Form 1099 NEC, 1099 NEC, for small businesses to report payments that they sent out to freelancers and contractors. But there are so many things that you need to make sure that you're aware of. So let's deep dive. Now, the first thing, the difference between 1099 and W-2s. This is something that you might know, but I felt that it was important to briefly go over it. So W-2s are only for employees of your consulting firm, not contractors. The W-2 identifies their salary received from your company for the year and the taxes withheld. Okay? Now, 1099s are given to non-employees of your company, typically contractors, freelancers, and vendors. But even with vendors or businesses, there are caveats to that, which we will talk about later in this episode. Now, this type of 1099 is called a 1099 NEC, which stands for non-employee compensation. This information used to be reported on 1099 miscellaneous, but that changed in 2020. So please make sure that you use the correct form when reporting the payments given to contractors, employees, and vendors. And that form, I cannot stress enough, is 1099 NAC, 1099 NEC. Okay. Now the 1099 NAC identifies the total amount you pay to the contractor for the work completed throughout the year. So for example, if the contractor charges you $30,000 for the year for services provided, you're going to pay them $30,000 and you're going to report that $30,000 on the 1099 NAC. Now, there are other non-employee compensations that you want to be aware of so that you can include those on the form. Now, we talked about the fees and services, but also benefits, commissions, prizes, and awards for services performed by a non-employee, other forms of compensations for services performed for your business by an individual who is not an employee. All of that information will go on the 1099 NAC. All right. Now, there are other 1099s that you will issue for business rent, awards, receive royalties, but that is another type of 1099, and that is another video. So let's move on. Who is responsible for the contractor's taxes? Not you. No, not you. Okay? Your company is totally not responsible for withholding taxes for your contractor. The contractor is responsible for both income taxes based on their net profit and self-employment taxes. As a matter of fact, go and watch my episode titled Taxes for Self-Employed Consultants, where I deep dive into taxes for non-employees. Okay? The contractor should take their 1099 NAC that you created and use that document to file their business or personal taxes. So what happens when you issue a 1099? When you issue 1099s, you will also provide a copy to the IRS. in which they will complete a check and balance to ensure that all taxpayers claim the correct income amount and pay the correct amount in taxes and not a penny less. Listen, you and I both know that the IRS want their money, okay? So to create the 1099 NAC, you must have a W-9 on file for each contractor. Now, I highly recommend having the contractor complete a W-9 before they receive their first payment from your company. This process prevents having to hunt down contractors when it's time to issue 1099s. I've seen cases where the contractor doesn't want the 1099 from you because they know that they have to pay taxes and they're like, I don't want to get that. That's totally wrong, but people are people. So make sure you're in compliance by issuing a W-9 and having them complete that when they very first start. Okay? Now, who should receive a 1099 NAC? Now, generally speaking, if you pay a contractor $600 plus for services provided, you must issue them a 1099 NAC, okay? If you pay the contractor less than $600 for the year, you do not have to issue a 1099. A huge difference here is if you pay a company that is incorporated, meaning they are an S corporation or a C corporation, you would not issue them a 1099. The way to verify if they are incorporated is to review their W-9, which I mentioned you should issue that in the very beginning. Also, simply ask them, hey, Tom, Joe, Sally, Jane, are you an S Corp or C Corp, right? Another huge caveat here is if they are attorneys. In most cases, you must issue 1099s to attorneys, whether they are incorporated or not. Okay? So basically, you are issuing 1099s to sole proprietors, freelancers, and limited liability companies who are not taxed as an S Corp if you paid them $600 plus in 1 year. Finally, when must 1099 NACs be issued? You must issue 1099 NACs by January 31st. 1099s must be either postmarked or electronically filed by that date. When you complete your taxes, you will have to confirm that you issued 1099s from your company. So do the right thing and get them out. There are several softwares which will do this for you, but you want to make sure that it's done, that it is e-filed, that it is postmarked, and that it is sent to the IRS by January 31st. All right? So that's all I have regarding 1099 NACs. If you have any questions or any comments, definitely leave those below. If you enjoyed this video and you learned some things, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button right now. This is Octavia Conner. Until next time, say yes to profits, everyone. Toodles! You have enjoyed another episode of the Say Yes to Profits podcast. Be sure to download the free resource from this episode and hit the subscribe and like buttons right now. Also connect with us on other social media platforms and join the free Say Yes to Profits community. Thank you for joining us. Say Yes to Profits.